Hey everyone, Kathy the Vegan Prepper here, and I have got a big Costco haul to share with you guys. So just in case any of you ever wonder, what does a rather large, I don't know, we're a family of 5, but still, relatively big vegan family purchase for groceries at Costco. Here you go, we can show you, and it's gonna be great, so just keep watching. Vegan Prepper, Vegan Prepper. Okay, starting with the frozen stuff because it really needs to get put away. We've got 2 4-pound packages of broccoli, riced cauliflower, a 5-pound bag of sweet corn, a splurge this time, some Brion breakfast sausage patties. They're definitely not plant-based. They are vegan, not plant-based. I really despise that packaged foods are beginning to take this label because it's making the rest of plant-based food look bad. But anyway, that's another whole video. But basically, these are a splurge. They're just kind of yummy. They're nice for like really special kind of slow breakfast days. So I don't know. We like to have them a little bit. And then the 3-pound bags of organic blueberries just for our smoothies. We use them a lot. And yeah, so that's the frozen stock up this time around from Costco. We're gonna go get that in the freezer because it's already been in the car for kind of a while, and we will be right back. Okay, so as a family, we are attempting to get to once monthly shopping trips. We're definitely not quite there yet, but it has been a pretty long time since we've been to Costco. So some of this is a combination of stocking and just like normal, just groceries that we get. So I'm going to go ahead and just sort of take you through some of the items, give a little bit of the why, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy it, or it gives you ideas, or you can see how I am so imperfect. I'm trying to walk a nice line with my family, so we'll kind of discuss some of that. So down here, let's go ahead and discuss the things I'm not embarrassed about, which is the mangoes, mandarin oranges, carrots. These are just like crazy good prices for some of these larger items. Mangoes, it's definitely a bit late to be getting mangoes, but they still look so good. And I don't know, I'm hoping these are really good. I love me a mango. That's just one of my favorite snacks in the whole world, is just a whole mango. That's been ever since I was pregnant with Sage. When I went vegan, somehow a whole mango became one of my absolute favorite snacks on earth. It was an excellent kind of transition food. And I think it's because it's kind of high calorie. It's got a ton of nutrients. It's got carbs and stuff, and it's like your body gets satisfied just kind of eating a giant thing rather than like a giant pile of something else. So anyway, that really helped me out. Also, we've got 2 bags of potatoes. I believe they are, what are they, 15 pounds probably each? I don't know. Oh no, they're only 10 pounds. What? See, well, there you go. There's shrinkflation for you right now, because they used to be 15-pound bags. Now they're 10-pound bags, and they do cost about the same. So this is only 20 pounds of potatoes, which might sound crazy to most people, but now I'm seriously I'm trying to stop myself from doing a bunch of math. This might not be enough to get us through the week. So I mentioned before, we are a family of 5. And so one is our ages. Well, Adam and I are adults. He's in his 40s. I'm almost in my 40s. Our oldest son is 20. Then Elliot, our middle son, is 15, and our youngest is 3, almost 4. So, but we've got those 2 older and teenage boys, so we go through a lot of food in this house. But anyway, this might not be quite enough. So that's interesting. I just found out on camera that this is not as many potatoes as I thought it was. So I will figure that out later. This is one of the things I am a little embarrassed. So we did get some processed foods this time around. These are just kind of delicious, these Heavenly Hunks. I have gotten these before in a Costco haul. They are certified vegan. They do still have sugar. They've got some fat and stuff, but it's like most like genuinely or generally pretty good, nice stuff. I really do love that these are certified glyphosate free. That's like Roundup, so they're free of any residual Roundup stuff. They're just yummy, and they're like really satisfying because they're so fatty. So I would, like I said, I kind of try to balance the healthy with, the fact that I still live in the real world, and my kids still live in the real world, and they're surrounded by other kids who are not even remotely healthy or close to like what we're trying to do with our family, you know, change the trajectory of our family, be the first generation to be free of lifestyle diseases and all of that. And so something like this, I feel, is infinitely better than like an Oreo, and it's still a treat that they can have and they can feel a little bit more normal amongst their peers. So that's why I still sometimes get some of this stuff. Yeah, anyway. We're not perfect, but we are working on it. So here is it still 20? Yeah, it is. It's a 20-pound bag of basmati rice. I just poured our last bag into our basmati rice bucket. I do get the vast majority of my bulk dry goods from Azure Standard, but certain things I still do get at Costco, and rice is one of them. It's just way cheaper. It's probably not as good quality, but it's just, you know, we have to kind of balance our budget. So I get my basmati rice from Costco. So I just poured the last bag, like I said, so I have one more bag now waiting in the wings for when the bucket gets empty. That's typically how I do it. I try to, they say, like in the prepping community, the saying is always, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. And for me, I guess I do agree with that. But what I always say to myself is replace the spare. So if I run out, as soon as I've used the spare of a thing, I replace the spare. And that's how I do it. So I always, or like I never run out. So anyway, I always have what I want. So here we go, some veggie straws. These are just yummy. People like these. These are yummy snacks. I do not buy them because I think that they have anything whatsoever to do with vegetables. Just so y'all know. But yeah, they're yummy. People like them. Kids can take them for lunch. You know, again, it's that whole like creating a little bit of normalcy, because like in the other one will be, you know, Indian food or like leftover or whatever we have. And so it's like very not typical American food that we typically are sending with the kids, because we eat plant-based, and actually we just eat a ton of Indian food in general because it's easy to have a very delicious, flavorful plant-based diet if you eat a lot of Indian food. I'm not in any way suggesting that Indian food is weird. We love it, but you know what I'm saying, that other kids are bringing like Lunchables or, you know, stuff that just looks different. So I try to create, like I said, just a little normalcy. So we have tortilla chips. We go through these actually pretty slowly. Adam loves to have these just with a little bit of salsa, and, you know, yeah, again, it's not perfect, but hey, there it is. Another thing of toilet paper. So now Costco was out for months. And so we typically like to have 2 of these in reserve, in addition to the one that we are currently working through. So because we do that, we didn't ever run out of toilet paper. So this is our second reserve now. So yay, we're set again. So it's just been like over the last month or two, we've bought, you know, our other 2 reserves. We don't like pile them high or whatever. I know people they get funny about the toilet paper, but we try not to. We just have a system. That's how many we like to have. So that's now how many we have. And I got 3 bags of these power greens. We go through these a lot in our smoothies. So it's not just spinach. We've got chard, spinach, and kale in here. And I like it. It's very rich in calcium and iron and all that good stuff. So these are 1.5 pound bags. So that's 4.5 pounds of greens. And we will almost certainly go through all 3 of those in 1 week. We go through them quite quickly between smoothies and cutting them up and throwing them into cooked dishes. And I really love it. I love it when we run out of greens because I feel good about that. This year has been so crazy and so busy. I have not gotten our greens planted outside, which is something that makes me very sad. Normally we are just swimming in greens right now. Actually, my name on PlayStation Network, because I'm a gamer too, is Winter Green Queen. That's my name because I grow all the greens in winter because, you know, I live here in Arizona. And that's what we get from our garden the most. I usually have giant bushes of greens. I don't have that this year because I was so busy, so I'm back to buying them from the store. It is not my favorite, but, you know, we just sort of, you just do what you do. So do what you can do. So it's still really important that we're getting these amazing phytochemicals and good plant compounds in our bodies. And so I'm buying them now just to make sure that we have them. So we have a 5 pound box or bucket or container, I guess, of pink Himalayan salt. And I want to say it was $6.79. And I'm probably right because I'm usually really good at remembering numbers. That's one of my weird talents. It's weird. I just remember numbers. They used to be $4.99. I do remember that very clearly. But this is 5 pounds for only $6.79, and I feel like that's a really good price. So I do stock up on these. We probably have 6 or 7 of them in the house. We just emptied one, and so I wanted to replace the one that we just emptied. Even in the store, Mr. Vegan Prepper was like, well, now we're only down to 7 of them or whatever. And I was like, yeah, but we've got to replace what we use or else we are going to eventually run out. So this is something that I feel is really important to stock for many reasons, but primarily for, in an extended situation, if we couldn't get to stores or if we end up having a lot of people living in our house, because I have, a plan. I think it would end up being about 10 people total. It might end up being more like 13 people total in the house that I love, that I would bring in if things really went bad. We have tons of just dry goods, and so they need flavor. And so it's very important to make sure that we at least have salt on hand for cooking in, a long-term situation. It's also good for random other things like hot salt packs for things, so anyway, there's a lot of benefit to that. Also, 2 containers of organic medjool dates. So these are just absolutely delicious. These are plant-based because they are plants. So they will have, one of my absolute favorite snacks on this earth is to just take one of these, split it open, and put a little bit of sun butter in there. The sunflower seed butter, because we don't get peanut, because I have a son allergic to peanuts. And I just love it. It's so delicious. And then if you happen to have a few little chocolate chips as well, you put like 3 chocolate chips on top of each half, and it's decadent. It feels almost like eating a Reese's. And I know somebody out there is going to be rolling their eyes right now, but come on, if you have a good attitude, you can get through this. Genuinely, this is delicious. If you want something that's going to make you feel like you're having a real treat and it's mostly like all plant-based and good natural food, then try yourself a nice soft medjool date with sun butter or nut butter, and put like a few little chocolate chips, and tell me if you don't think it's like Reese's. It might be a little closer to Reese's Pieces, but it's just delicious. Excuse me. So we also have a container of coconut oil. So we don't use hardly any oil in our cooking, like virtually almost never. We try to be as oil-free as possible. Granted, obviously chips will have oil in them or whatever, but as far as all the food that I cook at home, I almost never use oil. However, occasionally we do use popcorn, or we do make popcorn, and when we do, we use coconut oil to make our popcorn. Also, I use coconut oil every single day for oil pulling. So as a gum and tooth health step I take, swishing it around your mouth for about 20 minutes, spit it out. It gets your teeth so white and clean and nice, and it really helps heal your gums. This is one of those things like way back when I first started flossing as a real habit. My gums would get so sore when I would floss, but when I started flossing and then I started doing oil pulling at the same time, so I floss and, well, not while I'm oil pulling, floss and then oil pull right after flossing, I noticed my gums didn't get nearly as sore. I feel like the coconut oil was going through and healing some of the damage or taking away some of the inflammation from that process. So that's a really great tip for anybody who's looking to up their dental health game. This really helps with the soreness of flossing. Okay, so now we have salsa. This is the organic salsa. We just really love it. Adam loves it, again, with his chips. And so do the boys. The boys really love to eat this. I also love it as a really easy way of adding flavor to, something that I've cooked. You just like dump a spoonful of salsa on a plate of beans and rice or whatever, and then you have something that's really yummy and very low effort. Plant-based, vegan gets a lot of like a bad rap for being really labor intensive and all of that. And certainly it can be, but of course, certainly omnivorous eating can be very labor intensive. There are ways of making it super simple, but also really delicious. And speaking of that, this is another one of those ways. So avocados are just one of those things we can't seem to keep on hand fresh. For one, they're incredibly expensive. They just kind of go bad. They always have a sweet spot. And if you miss that sweet spot, it's gone. So I do occasionally buy the packaged guac, which I know is very unfriendly to the planet, with plastic, but it's just to give those healthy fats. Again, this is kind of for lunches. So actually like baby carrots dipped in guac is really yummy. And so that's something that the kids will sometimes take in lunch, even like with chips, and so that's handy for that. So we did get some guacamole. Here, let me come back to the front here. So 2 of the 4 packs of tofu. This is a really economical way to buy tofu. Not that tofu is expensive anyway. This is like I think $6 for a 4-pack of organic tofu. It's really cheap. So this becomes, you know, sandwiches. Actually, if you slice it really thin and then just press it in between 2 layers of a towel, you'll end up with a piece of tofu that's pretty well, you know, nice and dry and fresh or pressed. You can put it on bread, make sandwiches out of it. So that's actually our quote unquote lunch meat, but also crumble it up to make tofu scramble, cube it and bake it and add it to salads or whatever. We just love it, or, you know, just cut it and put it straight into soup. We really love tofu. I also really love making a palak paneer type dish. Like I said, we eat a lot of Indian food. And so it's not paneer that I use tofu, and it works really well. So here is an instant coffee. We're replacing some coffee. We still do drink a little bit of coffee around the house occasionally, not a lot, but my son does drink it. My 20-year-old drinks it every day. And so we needed to replace it. This is a new package. It was much cheaper than the one we normally buy, but it still looks nice and freeze dried. So instant coffees that are more freeze dried like this are really good. I think they still have a lot of really great flavor. The other thing about it is freeze dried. If you're looking for a way to stock coffee, a lot of people really, it's hilarious. You start reading the stuff that people talk about with coffee, but like in a disaster, I know you might not like instant, but like you could just use instant. And instant, like freeze dried instant coffee is actually a forever food. So you don't have to worry about it really ever going bad. So there's that. And then we've got our quinoa over here. So I've just got 2 4.5-pound packages of quinoa. We do still have quite a bit of quinoa on hand. This is one of those though that lasts a really long time. I have a video discussing forever foods and long-term storage vegan foods. And quinoa is one of them. It'll store, if you store it correctly, it'll store for anywhere from 20 to 30 years. And that's invaluable because for one, it's a whole grain. Like white rice is the same way. It will store for 20 to 30 years, but it's just white rice. So this is, you know, full of nutrients. You can sprout it. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can make Rejuvelac for good probiotics. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. It's an amazing thing to have on hand. So I like to keep it on hand and stock it as well. It is barely cheaper buying it like this than from Azure Standard. It's like maybe 4 or 5 cents a pound cheaper. So it's really not much. But the big advantage to buying it like this, I believe, is that the one from Costco is pre-rinsed. It's pre-washed. So you can just take this right out of the package and grind it up and make quinoa flour, which is what I like to do when I make my gluten-free pancake mix. I also have a video on that already on the channel you could check out if you want. And so I put just the quinoa that I grind up into my pancake mix, and it just ups the nutrition and it's really good. So this is a great thing to have on hand. I bought obviously some raw sauerkraut. I typically make my sauerkraut, but it's kind of same thing almost with the greens. Like it's been so busy. I haven't been doing a lot of my ferments and taking time to do that stuff lately. I can't even tell you this year. A lot of it is very good. Some of it was not. It didn't feel like a blessing at a time. We're discovering the blessings after the fact, because of course everything does still work to our good. But I decided to go ahead and just buy the sauerkraut so that we could have it and, you know, be getting that good probiotic. And so I will make another batch of sauerkraut eventually, but until then we will get this. This is the best price. It's $7.99 for this rather large container, and I've never seen a better price on that particular sauerkraut. So there you go. This is a new one for us. We're completely out of our sun butter. And so I have seen this around. We need one that's peanut free, as I have said, because I have a peanut allergy in the house. And this one has cashews, almonds, Brazil nuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, hazelnut, pumpkin seeds, and salt. So this is the one that I bought this time around just to give it a shot, and hopefully it is really good. It sounds like it's going to be amazing. It's got a lot of really good stuff in it. So I will kind of update you guys on that. This barbecue sauce is vegan. People say, why would vegans use barbecue sauce? Plenty of reasons. Actually, one of my sons likes dipping his carrots in barbecue sauce. It's still really good on all kinds of things, like on tofu or even beans. You can make like barbecue beans. You can put it on tempeh. You can put it on your sandwich or whatever. I mean, there's a million, like pretty much every way that you would use it for meat, you could use it for something that's vegan instead. So we definitely really love barbecue sauce. Or yeah, even like potato wedges when we make potato wedges, baked potato wedges or whatever, dip them in barbecue sauce. Also, one of my favorite salad dressings on earth is a mixture of about 2/3 barbecue sauce, 1/3 balsamic vinegar, and you just shake it up, and it's an amazing oil-free salad dressing. So yeah, we love barbecue sauce, and we're out, so we bought another one. I got myself a container of the organic soy milk. This is not my absolute favorite, for one, because it is vanilla flavored, so that limits its uses to kind of a sweeter thing. The main reason I don't like getting it is because it has sugar. I really wish that Costco would begin to sell an unsweetened plain soy milk, but I don't know if people just wouldn't buy it or what. But I'm getting tired of how often we have to go back to the store looking for plain soy milk. It's hard to find a lot of it right now. So back there, we've got gold pineapple chunks. So I just went through one of the boxes of canned pineapple I have on my shelf, and so I am just grabbing another box. We like to have that on hand. Pineapple juice is a weird thing, I think. We don't really drink juice in the house. I keep this on hand primarily because it is fortified and it has a lot of added vitamin A, C, and E. Mainly like the vitamin C, especially for considering like long-term storage, eating from dried goods if you don't have a lot of access to fresh goods. And I know sprouting is an option, but even if, like, say you're short on water and you don't have tons of water to be rinsing a bunch of sprouts or whatever, even though of course you could filter it again, you could like boil it and filter it again after doing it, you could reuse that water. But still, it's just to have on hand. Also kind of like a morale booster, like a sweet juice. So I have that on hand. I do stock cans of pineapple juice primarily for that reason. For the extra vitamins and whatnot. So kombucha, we obviously already dug into it. We had one on the way home, each of us, Mr. Vegan Prepper and I. It's way cheaper to buy it by a box at Costco than it is to buy it individually in stores. So we just went ahead and grabbed it. So we like to have various probiotic foods in our lives. And so kombucha is definitely one of them. The sauerkraut is another. I'm trying to think of some others. Oh yeah, kimchi. We've started eating kimchi as well. So we like to have that to have natural probiotic going into our diets. And so yeah, we just got one box. It is still a bit pricey, but the boys do love having it on hand. We all really love kombucha. Actually, even Sage really loves kombucha. She knows how to say it right now. That's one of those ones I got really sad when she learned how to say it right. She used to say konchibuchi. Now she says kombucha, but we all still call it konchibuchi. Anyway, so I got 2 boxes of fig bars. Same thing with the whole normalizing a little bit of the lunches and stuff like that. But also I'm going to be taking one of these and splitting it between the cars to add some bars kind of to our car kits to make sure that we've always got food on hand in case we ever are in a situation where we need food in the car. It's not going to only be fig bars, but this is kind of the beginning. Also, some face masks. So ideally we would be using reusable, and we do have many reusable ones, but my sons are required to wear masks all day at school, and these are the ones that are the most comfortable for them. The cloth ones over time are just not, like, they're hot and uncomfortable, especially here. And even like right now when it's fall and moving into winter, it's just hot in the afternoon still even. Like I had to take off my hat. Like it was too hot. I put it on this morning to look cute for church, but I had to take it off. It was too hot. And so these are much cooler, much more comfortable, and for like an all day wear. So again, it's not my favorite, but it's uncomfortable to be in the cloth ones all day. I don't know. Somebody else might understand that or know about that themselves. So anyway, there is the whole haul. Hopefully you liked it and you got something out of that and enjoyed it. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below any thoughts you have, or if you learned anything new. Yeah. Anyway, as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later. Bye.